I unironically think that Thunderbolts might be one of the best Marvel movies to date when it comes out. That new trailer that dropped this week, I don't know if you guys saw it.
Have not.
It looks fantastic. Okay. I think this movie's going to be a destroyer. We had talked about this, I think, a couple weeks ago, but the people working on this movie are just
A24 icons.
Yeah, we got the people who made the show Beef on Netflix, banger. Okay, I think it's the director and writers of that. They got the cinematographer of Green Knight. They got the sound designer and like the composer of I can't remember which other movie. And it's so funny because like Marvel clearly knows this is the case because this new trailer literally is about that. It's flashing all those names. And the trailer is like just flashing clips of the movie and of each person working in it. So much so that A24 put out a tweet saying like, I don't know, they made some like funny joke about how like they like they're battling Marvel now because it's like everybody who's worked on A24 movies is now doing Marvel shit. But I don't know, it's kind of funny. I saw this like it was like a comic book cover of a bunch of Marvel heroes like in a fighting stance against these A24 movie posters. So it's like like they're gonna battle or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys haven't watched this trailer yet, this movie, I believe this is gonna be one of the best Marvel movies to date. It looks fucking great. I can't wait for it. It looks like a real fucking movie. Oh god, I'm so excited. I hope I'm not disappointed.
The trailer I'm waiting for is Superman.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
What were you gonna say, Marvin?
I think I watched the teaser of Thunderbolts that came out maybe a couple weeks ago or something. I don't think I've watched this new trailer.
Yeah, watch this trailer when you get a chance. It's fucking great. Came out like 2-3 days ago.
Okay.
I'm hyped
check
for
it
it.
out.
I am so hyped for it.
What the hell are we supposed to use, man? Harsh language?
What's going on, gentlemen?
What up?
How's
Happy
it
Monday.
hanging? Happy Monday. How are
Oh,
we
you know,
doing?
time just fucked us in the ass. Woke up tired as fuck. Didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Oh yeah, we lost an hour.
Lost a whole hour just like that.
Yeah. I honestly
Thanks,
didn't even
universe.
notice it, to be honest.
It's the last one, you think?
Nah, I don't know. I don't even know why it's an issue for people. It's just like one of those weird things that like Republicans have a problem with. I don't know. I thought it was funny.
What, daylight saving time?
Yeah, they've been like at war. They've been trying to like abolish it for like 10 years now or something. I don't know why.
Yeah, get rid of that shit.
Thought it was
I'm
funny.
not a Republican, but I don't fucking want it either.
There was a video on Twitter of Rick Scott like going after it. The guy who defrauded Medicaid for like millions and millions of dollars and got off scot-free and ended up with a $300 million severance package afterwards. He has a problem with daylight savings time, so we should maybe listen to what he has to say. I don't know.
Hey, broken clock is right twice a day. That's the saying.
Yeah.
Yep, that's true. So yeah, welcome back, folks. This is episode 124. We got some other cool stuff we're covering today. We watched The Gorge. We're going to be talking about that a little bit later. Dusty's going to bring us the news as usual. How was everybody's week other than daylight savings?
Oh, it's cool.
It's good. Marvin,
Yeah,
you
it's
have this is an intervention. This isn't the podcast episode. You have a crippling addiction to Marvel Rivals. You good?
I'm good. Yeah,
All right. You're on that shit a lot this week.
I know.
Are you a master of it yet or what?
A
No,
new update.
nah, no reason. I mean, Sue Storm and The Thing and Human Torch came out in the last update.
Yeah. Nice. I've not played that game yet. Looks like fun though.
It's cool. It
Waiting
is.
for Dune.
Sorry, I needed water.
Oh yeah. I hope that's good. I might try it. I doubt it's gonna be free though, so that's the hang up for me. Dan made me buy $100 game, so now I'm just fucked. Can't buy any more games for the rest of the year.
Hey, I didn't make you do anything. Again, blame Owen, not me. He
I blame
started
both of
that
you.
shit. He started that shit.
Yeah, both of you guys. Pay to win.
You guys been watching anything good?
Just that show. I've been watching another episode of it. I keep
Other than
forgetting
Severance,
the
of
name.
course.
Common Side Effect. Yeah.
We didn't do our separate Severance episode this week, but it was a very, very good episode. Did you guys watch it? Both of you?
Yeah.
I've not
I thought
watched our episode of Severance yet. But you guys know.
Okay.
No. We didn't do the episode of Severance. I'm asking if you watched actual Severance.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. It was a
Oh,
good
you guys
episode.
didn't record.
No,
Okay.
we ended up
I
not
thought-
doing it.
I guess the notification or the recommendation I got was for a different episode.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
must have
Because I
probably.
saw one on the YouTube feed.
Little Cobell backstory. That was good.
I think I have been secretly writing this show. Maybe my Annie is writing the show because I just was asking where. I mean, I'm sure everyone was asking where Cobell's at, but
Yeah. She's been driving for fucking 8 episodes straight to get here. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in there. We don't have to do like a whole breakdown or anything, but I thought it was a really another really good episode of like answering some long-standing questions about certain things that they have like kind of geared us up for.
yeah, it was a good episode. I don't think it was nearly as good as some of the other episodes, but we got a big revelation.
You sound like
With-
one of the other channels that I found. I just came across a video that was like, "This was the worst episode of Severance yet," and I was like, "What?"
No, that's. I mean, yeah, the worst of godlike. Oh my gosh, that's the worst thing ever, right? Like,
I don't
okay,
even think so. These are the episodes I like pining for now going forward. Like these just simpler, just character building episodes.
yeah, like I said, it was good, but we've been
Categories.
getting.
Yep.
We've just been getting such good episodes.
Yeah, but I thought this was one of them. I mean, again, the cinematography was great in it. I thought the character aspects of it were awesome. Not just with Cobell, but like just really establishing like Lumen's presence in the world.
Yeah, working towns,
Yeah, so we found out
destroying towns. Yeah,
that Lumen like started just like most other major corporate. Well, I mean, not most other, but like their evolution was from like settler, industrial era, like factory town, and they like pretty much sucked it dry for all it was worth, and then moved on to become like a apparently global corporation. All the while run by this cult of Kier. It seems very clear now at this point that it's a cult.
yeah.
And the factory was producing ether, which is an old real life thing. It was one of the earliest forms of an anesthetic that used to be used back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And this town, they're all like huffing it as a drug. And it what does it do? What do we see it do? It takes their feelings away.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Your boy was right. And we find out that the evolution of what they were doing became the Severance program, and Cobell is apparently a genius, and she invented it. We find out. James Egan, which is Helly's father, who is the current CEO, he was her mentor, and she graduated from the Winter Tide program that we heard Miss Wong is part of.
Yep.
And I guess she invented all the tech and stuff for the Severed program, and James took it as his own. And I'm assuming that propelled him to be the CEO and like to propel the
sure.
company to become what it became.
Yeah. He took all the credit and told her if she exposed it, then she would be exiled from the cult.
Yeah. So a lot of cool
So
stuff.
that's why she's so
Hell bent on getting her revenge. Yeah, well, upset because like she dedicated everything to them.
She gave up, her life's work.
Pernicious.
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, I thought it was great. There's a lot of cool little like Easter eggs too. I don't know if you guys got this from it, but the episode opens. There's a fucking you see a iceberg out in the water, and we talked about it recently. Like there's an iceberg in what's his name's office, Milchick's office, and we were like, oh yeah, it's symbolic for like more under the surface and stuff like that.
Right.
But it seems like everything goes back to this town because this town is a little harbor town and it happens to be cold. It literally is a cold harbor.
It literally is Cold Harbor. Yep.
And in a town like this, the winter tide would come in. Like there's a lot of parallels to this town. So I'm guessing this is just where Lumen started. Like this is the ground zero for their organization or whatever. I would assume Keir settled here or whatever the hell. We know he met his wife.
Yeah, I kind of thought that when we were talking about the house, how they were going down to the replica house and how it probably wasn't a replica house. It was like the actual house, and they just built the company around the original house that they settled.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Because at the waffle party house.
Yes.
Yeah. There's
So we're at who knows? I mean, we could be like in fucking Antarctica or some shit where shit's melted down. We're in a future.
It was filmed in
Right.
It was filmed in Canada.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the show takes place in Canada, but it's like a real town in Canada where they filmed it. That's where I want to live, a little idyllic seaside town like that with like 40 people. Yeah, we get the confirmation of what the tube was that she's been carrying around. It's her mother's oxygen tube, and there's other people in this town who fell victim to working in the factory. They're all on old people on oxygen and stuff, and it seems like using the ether is the one thing keeping them going. And her aunt, I guess is her aunt, I think that's the assumption, is a pariah in the town because she still follows the word of Keir.
Right.
There was another interesting thing I had seen on the wall of the factory in one of the shots where she's driving by. It's like faded, but it showed like the text on the factory. It says Keir Egan's Lumen Ether. There's a miracle cure for man.
Oh wow.
And again, Cure for Man is the license plate. So now we're starting to get all these little connections and ties coming together. Everything's coming full circle.
Yep.
But
Evil
I think
drug company.
I think it's really cool that like Keir was like just this weirdo, maybe just like who just settled in this place, created a product based on like this. He's a snake oil salesman, is what it is.
Yeah, cure for all
Yeah.
fucking buzzwords. Yeah.
And it just so happened that it like snowballed into like this big tech conglomerate, like giant organization that's doing some crazy shit that we don't fully know yet. But I guess the one thing I was curious about is do we think, I don't, but do we think that she is now gotten a change of heart and she's going to be an ally for Mark? Or what? Or you think she's still a soldier?
I think so. I mean, I think Ragabi knew too, maybe some. Well, I guess that doesn't make sense because Dr. Ragabi, she was afraid of her. So I don't know. Maybe she's not having a change of heart. It seems like she is, but
yeah,
it's hard to say. It feels like she probably was a soldier, but she has some animosity now about how she's been treated, and it's seemingly that her mom also did not like the Egan's or had a relationship but didn't like them. So
her mom was a non-believer.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing too with like a corporation. Like when you get a job at a corporation, when you sign the contract, you're basically saying whatever I come up with while working for here, you own the rights. The company owns the rights to any type of discovery or anything you make. And it's just that same effect. Like she created some crazy product she even said it, base code, design, like all everything. Like not just, the thought of it, like it's just crazy that anybody would snap. I'm surprised she held on that long.
Yeah. But the thing that's got me still thinking that she is still a dedicated soldier is just she's a little bit insulted, I guess I would say, is because they kicked her off the Severed program, which she developed. Like she was there, and that was her problem.
That was
like,
turning. Yeah.
She's like, well, how are you kicking me off like this? I now we know it's like I started this fucking shit.
Right.
Let me see it through.
Yeah.
So I still think there might be a chance for her to like just be trying to get leverage to get back in and finish what she started. She seems to me like she is more dedicated to finishing what she started than actually helping Mark like take down Lumen or something like that. You know what I mean?
That's very possible. I hope not.
Her whole life.
We need someone to have a fucking redemption.
I think that's going to be Milchick.
In this show.
I think if anybody, it's going to be Milchick or Helly.
She seems to be on the scientific side of it because the whole reintegration thing that she reported, she wants to continue that and figure out what it's about while the company is kind of like shooting it down. No, that's not possible. She seems to be on the, we need to figure this out because this is my work. So I'm interested. So she's interested in what's happening and what's going on with him. But
I just think that if your whole life has been this one thing, it's not going to be just like I'm just going to fight against them now. Like
once you get betrayed though, well,
because Ragabi was right. She was raised by them. She literally born in this small ass little town.
Right.
Went off to the
academy.
The academy for girls. What is it? Myrtle Egan School for Girls. Yep. Myrtle Egan was Kier's wife, by the way, and they met working the vats of ether in the factory. Remember from season 1, the painting that Bert and Irv talk about?
Mm-hmm.
There's also that. So now here's a little bit of theory for you and why I think Helena might be the one who has the redemption. There is this running theme now of I forget the exact wording, but I think it was in season 1 where they explained Kier said something about like your coworkers are something about your coworkers being your love interests or something like that. Like those you work with are like, it's like a connection. I should have looked it up. I totally forgot. But it's like there's like a stronger connection between people that you work with. It was kind of like the gist. And his wife he met working at Lumen. There's this connection now of love interest being established at the workplace. The man that she was talking to in this episode, Cobell, that was not just her coworker. She says we were coworkers, but coworkers really means lovers.
Chums.
She says chums, right? Yeah, but chums is lovers. So they were dating at some point. Mark met his wife Gemma at their job. He met Helena at the job. So it's like there's all these like little ties to like Bert and Irv, Bert's other partner at work. There's just these ties to now love interests at the workplace, which I wonder if they're gonna. I'm assuming they're gonna explore more. But if I had to put money on it, I think Helena's gonna be the surprise turnaround. I think it's unlikely that Cobell could be like literally so much of her life dedicated to this cause that she's just gonna like flip the script and be like, fuck that. But we'll see. And a fun little thing at the end, the episode, the end credits was a song by a band called The Cult. So, yeah, they have a lot of fun with the show. It's evident when they make it. What else was there? Yeah, the other thing I thought too is like maybe Lumen goes around like the aliens from Independence Day, where they just like. Cause so in Independence Day, the aliens they like go to different planets and like just suck it dry for all its natural resources and then move on to the next place.
Right.
And I wonder if that's what Lumen's doing, because you would think cults target like the weakest among us, right? People who are lost and lonely and like looking for meaning and stuff like that. So I wonder if similarly Kier over the years established Lumen in these small desperate towns, built them up a little bit with industrialization. They work for this factory or whatever. I'm sure the factory employed everybody in the town. And then once they got what they need, they just move on and leave the town in its wake. which is just
Terrible.
something corporation, like that's what companies do. We see that.
Yeah,
in
we don't need
America.
aliens for that. That's a human thing.
Well, no, I wasn't saying it was like.
I know. I
aliens
see what you're
specifically.
saying. Yeah.
Just the fact that they just cannibalize and move on, and that's what companies do in real life. Like there's a lot of towns in and around America that are just like left crippled in the wake of like these factories and coal mines and shit that like close down and just move on. In fact, it led to our current it's one of the causes of our current epidemic of what's the drug that everybody's fucking doing nowadays?
Fentanyl.
Fentanyl,
Ozempic?
yeah. No, fentanyl.
Ozempic.
The fuck? No, fentanyl, yeah. It's like these broke towns. They turn to like drugs and shit. It's rough. So
Yeah, it is.
the show is great in that it continues to be like this indictment of real life shit, but like while delivering like a really good sci-fi sort of fantasy mystery / love story / drama /
Yeah.
sci-fi horror
Tying
horror.
in the cult and big corporation is like perfect.
Yeah, very, very good show.
Yep.
Was there anything else you guys got from that episode? It was pretty straightforward.
It was straightforward. It was only 33 minutes or something like that.
It was the shortest runtime, yeah.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel short either, which was pretty crazy.
It felt short to me.
Really? Did it?
Yeah.
I
definitely could tell.
I didn't even know it was a short episode until I watched like a recap of it, and they had mentioned that it was the shortest runtime. That was interesting. But
that's a beautiful little town.
But yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah, I think it was not British Columbia. I forget where, but it was in Canada. Yeah, literally a cold harbor. So I think that was pretty interesting. I still want to figure out what Cobell, like I don't know if she went through a reintegration of her own, because she wears that chip on her necklace. So I don't know if it's her chip, her mom's chip. Maybe it was just a chip, like a prototype or something.
Maybe
but
just a prototype.
It's something that has meaning to her.
It could be her own. I don't know.
Well, I still think about like that whole thing that Helena said to her of like, let's reset, you know?
Yeah.
That's still a little bit
very telling.
It's a lingering darkness, I think. But yeah. Last of Us trailer dropped. What'd you guys think of that?
Looking good.
Yeah, looks good.
Not looking like
I've not played the game, so
I haven't played the games at all, so
yeah.
I'm in for
well, I played the first one,
around.
so the first one was good, but the second one I haven't played yet, so I don't know what the story's going to be, but
so
I mean,
is this picking up on the second game, or is this still first game? So it's only 2 seasons, or what?
Well, no, they already said they're going to do 3 seasons at least. So I have a feeling the second game is going to be split up into 2 seasons.
2 or 3 seasons.
Do you think they should have split up like 2 seasons per game?
Yeah, I mean,
so for a total of 4.
Yeah, my big criticism of season 1 was that it was too short. It was too quick. It spent the story was too fast.
Yeah, and we agreed on that.
And I having played the game, I know you haven't played the first one. You just don't get that same sense of connection between the 2 characters that you do in the game. And it's also different because, again, you're playing as characters, you're struggling with them, you're doing all the things that they're doing as them. You're not just watching them. And so in the show, by the time it ended with, you know, there's that moment, the big moment where he finally calls her baby girl, which is a big line.
That's the one I was like confused about.
Yeah, you had brought it up.
Talked about it in the video.
Yeah, and yeah, it doesn't like land as hard.
No.
And you get it watching it. You're like, all right, well, whatever, fine, they're close now. But it's not the same. And so in season 2, I'm curious how much it's going to land for people who haven't played the games. And I can't say anything for both of you or anybody watching if you haven't played the game because it's too big of a spoiler.
Well, somebody's going to die, probably. But I think it's going to be hard to, if it didn't stick, like, it's not like it's going to magically like, oh, like, it matters now that they're close. Like, that's going to be weird, I guess.
I really want to fucking tell you what happened so bad.
No. You don't have to tell me. I'm just saying from watching the first season and like.
Well, I'll say this: the story of the second game and really just the entire story overall is really hinges on the fact that the first thing has to land. So that's why I'm curious, like,
Yeah.
is this going to work well? I'm sure it's going to be fine again, but just as a player, I don't think it's going to really compare to the game in any meaningful way. I think
Yeah.
I'm more curious how you guys are going to see it, and other people who haven't played the games of just like, yeah, that was good. I think there's going to be the reaction like, yeah, no, it was cool.
Probably.
There's moments in Last of Us 2 where you're just like fucking just like weeping. And in the first one too. And I never got that feeling in the season 1 yet.
Same, yeah.
There's very good moments, but I just that their connection just didn't really hit the way it does in the game.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, no.
Great trailer though.
Yeah, the trailer was great and it looks good. I just to be clear, I thought season 1 was very good. I just not as good as the game. That's all. And it's an adaptation, so it's impossible to not compare. And that was always like the gonna be the issue of comparing the two.
Yep.
And it's an unfair comparison, but it's impossible to not. But whatever.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be good. Did you guys watch the first 2 episodes of Daredevil this week?
Mm-hmm.
I did not.
It's the only thing I watched outside of the movie. What'd you think, Dusty? Did you like it? Is Marvel back?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. There's I don't know, excessive use of CGI swinging around, but it was good.
Man,
I liked
really?
it.
Especially comparatively to Netflix.
Yeah.
I've seen
So
mixed
it's bad.
reactions. No, I actually liked it. I'm just gonna spoil it for you, Marvin. You're gonna watch.
No.
What do you
Don't
mean?
spoil it.
All right, fine.
I mean, it's only 2 episodes.
It's not really a huge spoiler. It's literally something that happens in the first 10 minutes of the first episode.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. So you guys remember when they first announced the show, right? They were like, oh, yeah, we're bringing Daredevil back. And everybody was like, oh, cool, but Disney Plus kind of sucks. Everybody was worried about it. And then there were the rumors had come out that there was like issues in the writer's room or whatever. They were like not really settled on like a good plot story, whatever.
Yeah.
Then it had come out that like it was going to be a courtroom drama where like Matt really wasn't ever in the Daredevil cut, like he wasn't being Daredevil, and everybody's like, what the fuck?
Right.
And then they like scrambled and they brought in new writers to redo it and a new showrunner or whatever.
There were rewrites and reshoots. Yes.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
very clear the reshoot that they did was the first 10 minutes of the first episode. Because initially Foggy and what's her name? Karen were not meant to
Page.
be in this series. And everybody was like, well, you're not going to bring back his best friends, because it was going to be a soft reboot. It wasn't going to be connected to the Netflix series. Well, once they brought in the new writers and stuff, they were like, no, we're going to bring back Karen and Foggy. And this is a continuation of the Netflix series. It's not a reboot. So the Netflix series is like straight up canon now. And Dusty's going to be vindicated too, because I'll talk about that in a second.
Dusty loves canon. So.
He loves canon, and he more than that, he loves trying to make Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. hard canon. But now it might actually be, for once.
Well, the first couple of seasons actually were until they went into space, and then they fucked with time. And after they fuck with time, you could argue that it's not even in the same universe.
But it's not canon though. It's in the same universe. That's the difference. The Daredevil Netflix show was in the same universe, but not canon, because they mentioned the Battle of New York and stuff. It's semantics we're arguing. But hang on. So hang on a second.
The second Avenger movie started because of a call that was made by Phil Coulson in the TV show. They're directly connected.
I know that.
Okay.
But I'm saying, but when your canon would mean one would reference the other and the other references the. When Netflix's Daredevil or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. only reference the movies and not vice versa, it's hard to call it like strict canon. It's just happening at the same time, because the MCU, the movies never referenced either of those shows, is what I'm trying to say. But now I think that's changing, because, well, we'll get to that in a second. But anyhow, Marvin, so
that's still going to be problematic, but yeah.
So Karen and Foggy are back. The ship has been corrected. We're continuing the Daredevil series everybody loved. Well, episode 1 opens up. They're living their lives as usual. The show goes to hilarious, not even lengths. They just hilariously casually don't mention where these characters have been during the blip, when Thanos showed up, or any of the major things that happened in the MCU. They just are here, and they're living their life post blip and whatever. They're going to the same bar, and they're running their firm and all this stuff. And out of nowhere, Bullseye comes out of the blue looking for revenge or some shit. Fucking snipes Foggy in the chest while Matt's fighting some other. It was actually a really good scene. They used a lot of CGI for the fighting, but the way they used Matt's powers was really good, because Foggy gets shot and he's laying on the sidewalk and Karen's over him like screaming and telling him to hold on. And Matt's fighting Bullseye, and Bullseye's finally Bullseye, like the Bullseye we know from the comics, fucking throws like 80 knives into Daredevil. Like he's just riddled with knives.
You get a true villain fight scene where the villain does not care about public safety and is actually murdering people.
It was a really good fight, aside from the CGI, which I didn't think was that bad, but it was a little bit heavy on it. But the whole time they're fighting, Matt's trying to fucking beat the shit out of fucking Bullseye, but he's concentrating on Foggy's breathing and his heartbeat the whole time. So it was a really like intense fight scene. So Foggy dies, shockingly, in the first 10 minutes. And then Matt decides to put down the Daredevil suit because he's like, this is it. He's like, Foggy didn't want me to be Daredevil. He was worried about me. So now in his death, like, I have to honor him.
Right.
And then Karen gets mad at him and is like, what the fuck? Like, you're just going to like forget Daredevil now that like your friend's dead? Well, I'm leaving. And she just like disappears. So they
they brought him back.
They brought him back to get rid of him the first 10 minutes.
Why?
Because it just serves as a connective fiber from the previous series, I guess. I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
But now the rest of that episode, in the second episode, he doesn't have he's not Daredevil. He's just being a lawyer, and like he's taking on a case with some other fucking vigilante that stepped up in like the wake of no vigilantes being around. Fisk became mayor. He's basically Trump. And I just feel like it's the same show that we were always going to get. And all they did was just add this little like 10-minute little sort of like segue from the previous series to this series, which is fine. I don't care. I still enjoyed these 2 episodes. I just think it's kind of funny that like all this fucking hubbub happened for them to really not rewrite that much. And I don't know what's coming in the rest of the series, obviously, but for this first 2 episodes, I thought that was kind of a funny thing. So Dusty, you're nodding along. You agree with me, I'm assuming? It was weird,
mostly.
Right? It felt jarring. It felt like 2 different shows, honestly.
Yes, you could clearly tell that there was a show, and then that show got rewritten a little bit and reshot a few times. Like it was pretty obvious that it was band-aided together, which gives me a little bit of concern, but I don't know what I have a low bar now for Marvel content, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I thought it was pretty good. Like I said, I think it was heavy on the CGI, but
Fair.
Is it better than
Classic
She-Hulk
there.
so far?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked She-Hulk. Everybody shits on that show. I thought it was not that bad.
Are we gonna get? Is she
I was
gonna
just baiting.
cameo in
So
this?
I know. Is it what?
You think she'll cameo in this?
Uh-uh.
He cameoed in her show.
Get her in there.
If the world was just and things were great, we would be getting all sorts of cameos. But all we got was a fucking brief mention from Kingpin, who, when he in his mayoral run, he's like, I vow to end these vigilantes running around. A guy wearing a skull on his shirt.
Ooh,
somebody
nice.
running around with a spider on his outfit.
Oh shit!
And all this shit. I just want so badly to see Spider-Man fight Wilson Fisk, and it's not going to happen. Like, Spider-Man should show up in this show, but he's not going to because fucking Sony owns it.
Mm-hmm.
So that sucks.
That sucks.
But we'll see where it goes. It's every Tuesday, so tomorrow we record on Mondays. Tuesday will be episode 3 tomorrow. I do think it's good. I'm excited to see where it goes. And we'll see what happens. There it ended. So the plot here is that Fisk has now run for mayor. He became mayor despite his heinous crimes.
Somehow. Yeah.
Well, I mean, listen, they're doing the whole
Broke a
like,
dude's back.
they're doing the whole Trump thing. Like, how could somebody vote for this guy knowing how much of a piece of shit he is? Okay, cool. We get that. Fine. But what I'm really excited about, ooh, baby. So there's another vigilante that has stepped up in the wake of Daredevil being gone, named White Tiger, character from the comics. He gets into a little run-in with some corrupt cops on a subway platform. These cops are undercover and they're beating up on some guy, and White Tiger intervenes, kills one of the guys by accident, and finds out they were undercover cops. But they're not just any undercover NYPD. They are a little bit dirty, and they're going above the law, the limits of the law, to deliver what their form of justice is. And at the end of episode 2, one of these cops flashes a tattoo on his wrist, and it's the Punisher logo with an American flag on it.
They're for sure going fucking real life type shit.
They are going to. They're doing.
They're gonna call in the real Punisher who says you can't do that, dumbass.
No, the real Punisher is gonna call himself in. So there's.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's gonna hear about these vigilantes that are running around with Punisher tats.
Yep.
He's gonna be like, nah, man, I'm
shit.
actually gonna come kill you guys.
Yep.
What's wrong with you?
So Frank's gonna go to war with the NYPD, and I'm just gonna have a boner probably for the next 10 weeks straight, or however long it is, because there's precedence for this in the comic books. There was at one point a bunch of like NYPD cops who like took on the Punisher logo and were doing stuff, and he says to them like, I ain't a fucking I ain't somebody you should look up to. You know, look to Captain America for that, not me. And in real life, during the last couple of years, during the Black Lives Matter stuff and the Proud Boys and all this bullshit that's been happening over the last couple of years, cops, military people, they've brandished the Punisher logo as like this form of, I don't even know what. Like, clearly they're not familiar with the comic books, because Frank Castle is not somebody you look up to. He is a mentally ill, unstable psychopath. Yeah. And he delivers what he considers to be justice, because in his mind the law does not work, that the law does not go far enough. But there's no sense in his mind that the law should go to the level that he goes to. Like, he understands that he operates outside of the moral bounds of civilization. And so I think that's going to be really cool that they address this, because John Bernthal addressed it himself. Sorry, go ahead, Marvin.
No, I was just gonna say somebody needs to, like in Yellowstone when they cut the tattoo off the guy.
Yeah,
we need somebody to like just start doing that to these fucking idiots that are misrepresenting.
Yeah,
and using this stuff.
Well, they obviously don't understand the character. They probably never read a Punisher comic book or story. They just think that, oh, he kills bad guys, so we're gonna like adopt his symbol because we are doing the same thing. We're killing the people that we deem to be bad guys. But John Bernthal addressed this like a couple years ago, and he was like, guys, like, you're missing the point. And what's his name? Who's the writer? Grant Morrison. Like, he addressed it. Grant Morrison wrote like one of the more popular Punisher runs, Marvin. He addressed it. He's like, yeah, Frank is not a role model. Like, Captain America is the role model, not Frank Castle. So I don't know. I think this is a cool story to explore. I'm really excited for that.
Because it's just like, and they just co-opt it. Like,
yeah,
it's like another "Don't Tread on Me" or fucking whatever. Like,
yeah, totally
silly.
misses the point of the symbol. Yeah,
yeah.
So that's cool. Excited for that. What I was talking about though with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the connection. Your boy, My Time to Shine, hello, posted posted a single picture of the girl we were talking about last week,
Daisy.
who was in the show Interior Chinatown. He posted literally just a picture of Chloe Bennett, and as you know, she played in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She was
Daisy.
Daisy Johnson, aka Quake. And I don't know if My Time to Shine Hello was speculating that this is who it is in Daredevil, or if he's saying he has information that it is Quake. But at the end of episode 2, Wilson Fisk shows up to some giant, massive hole in the ground that nobody really knows what it is. Everybody's like, what the fuck happened here?
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of says, what does he do? He gets out of the car and is like, yeah, we're going to fix this up right now. He's like doing like,
Yeah, cutting the red tape because everybody's just standing around. He's
Yeah.
like, why? What are we doing? Let's get this going.
yeah, let's fix it up. So I don't know if that is Quake or what, but we'll see. But yeah, I don't know. First 2 episodes were good. I enjoyed it. Despite the little weird, I don't know, it just felt a little disjointed. Like you could tell it was like, this was filmed like 2 weeks ago and this was filmed like over the course of the last couple of years, I guess.
30 minutes or how long are the episodes?
About 45.
Interesting.
A little under an hour, yeah.
The original Daredevil was 30 minutes or?
No, about an hour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. They got to get him into the Daredevil costume soon. And I think that was like, again, part of that like reshoot thing that they came in and they were like, nah, yeah, we got to open the show with him like as Daredevil. Like we can't do it. Like we got to hook people quickly. So
yeah, they're running out of time to bring in all the good characters, the heroes for hire and the street team, Spider-Man and.
So interesting enough, and this pissed me off too, because as you know, Feige wanted to make Spider-Man 4 a street level type of story, like this is a story about your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Spider-Man finally back to the character we know him as. And they ended No Way Home in that way. But Sony wants another multiverse movie because they want to fucking suck it dry. But Wilson Fisk saying you got guys dressed up with spiders on their shirts running around. Seems to me that Spider-Man's been doing the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man shit since we've last seen him.
Yeah, well, Marvel's they're not gonna not mention one of the most popular characters.
That's what I want, though. I want the
universe.
I want Spider-Man doing Spider-Man stuff. I don't want to just see Spider-Man every time he's fucking saving the universe from some threat. Like that's not what Spider-Man does. I mean, he does, but that's not like his
He
shtick.
can do both.
He can do both, but he's not doing both.
Like Superman.
Well, yeah, but that's not what we've seen so far. Well, you haven't seen any of the Spider-Man movies in the MCU.
That's not true.
Guy was teamed up with fucking Tony Stark I was gonna say Stony something. He was fighting Thanos for fucking 3 movies. Like, enough.
Yeah. He got snapped. Got his ass snapped.
But yeah, it was good. What else? Yeah, that's all I watched this week. Really, was Daredevil and Severance. You didn't watch? You didn't
a new
watch
episode
anything?
of Reacher.
Oh yeah, I did watch that too. Yeah, Reach is great.
Okay, yeah. I'm still watching 1923. It's really good this season. I guess the next sequel to that is going to be 1944. Is what
Enough.
saying. We'll get 20 years into the future.
That'll be the 70s Duttons.
Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren will probably be dead, and it'll be the son that's traveling back to the ranch right now.
Which
is
the
one that was fighting the tigers?
Yep.
Is that going to be the one with
Hunter,
Matthew McConaughey, or is he going to be the future of the Duttons?
I think that's modern day Dutton.
Yellowstone 2042. It's like cyberpunk. They all have fucking prosthetics and shit.
Let's go. I'm here for that.
Fucking robot horses.
Now they're fighting the aliens to stop them from getting the land.
Yep. Gold in the hills.
Fucking civilization from Andromeda galaxies come to take our land. Fucking the mayor from the what was the character from the reservation? He was like the leader of the res. He's like a head in a jar now. Like, give him the rules. Oh my god. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, but
that's good though. Actually, Taylor's got some good writing on this one.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good scene about going through Ellis Island in the 1920s and how
Hmm.
violent and brutal it was as an immigrant.
Oh,
You ever go to Ellis
Some good
Island, Dusty?
storytelling. I have never been to New York, Dan.
Oh, I was just gonna say, have you ever been to New
I
York?
think Tennessee, North Carolina is about as far northeast as I've been.
Mm.
mm.
You should come visit. I'll take
My
you
neck
to
of
the
the
Statue of
woods.
Liberty. You can watch you cry
Yeah.
in front of it.
Yeah, I need to make my way out there
Ellis,
eventually.
Ellis Island's a cool trip. I went twice, maybe. Can't remember.
Hmm.
They have like the cool thing. You could go and like find your family if like they came through, because they have like these walls of
Yeah.
names chiseled of all the people that come through, and you could like put a piece of paper on it with like charcoal and like get their name and stuff. It's kind of neat. What do you got for us in the news this week, Dusty? Anything good going on?
Got a couple interesting news pieces. You're talking about let's see.
Yeah, there's just some weird stuff.
Oh, Gene Hackman.
Yeah, I was gonna
this was
say.
a weird one. This was a weird one. We talked about this last week. Him and his wife found
We're not
dead,
laughing at that, chat. We're laughing at this. I opened Twitter and this came up. Fuck.
They were found dead like a week in their home. Well, it turns out Gene Hackman's wife, she died of hantavirus. And then he had advanced Alzheimer's and he died a few days later. And the dog in the crate, obviously dehydration, probably is what I would guess. But that's what happened. No foul play or anything like that. Just she was taking care of him. And when she, 65, she was 65, he was 95. But when she died, that was pretty much it for him because there's nobody to take care of him.
It's important
That's
that you
terrible.
mention the hantavirus is what you get from mouse or rat droppings.
Mm-hmm.
And it causes like severe flu-like symptoms. So it is possible that you wouldn't know it's something more than the flu. Like she might have just gotten sick and been like, oh, I'm fucking sick, and then died. And as you said, his dementia was supposedly so bad that he didn't realize that she died.
Yes.
Nor was able to feed himself.
It's very possible, yeah.
It's just a very weird situation.
If it's advanced Alzheimer's, I mean, it's...
Yeah, it's rough.
Certainly, yeah.
So just a very,
That's
very
terrible.
sad and unfortunate situation.
Yeah.
Very sad.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, so moving on to some interesting news here. YouTube Premium is $13.99. I don't know if you guys subscribe. Either of you? No. So
Ad block,
you watch
baby.
the ads on your YouTube.
I watch all ads.
You get ways around it, which apparently they're trying to rip out of browsers and stuff.
Yeah, I watch my ads.
Okay, well, they just announced that they passed 125 million subscribers. I am actually a subscriber, but I'm a longtime subscriber. I subscribed when it was just YouTube Music before it was YouTube Premium or YouTube Red.
Yeah.
And I pay $7.99 a month because I'm grandfathered in.
Oh, he's lying.
I don't pay the $13.99. That's kind of one of the reasons I haven't canceled it. But they're coming out with a premium light for $7.99. And this will cover most videos, so you can watch most videos ad-free, gaming, news, beauty, stuff like that. They said ads are going to be focused towards music content and shorts.
Yep.
So that's where you're going to get a lot of the ad viewing.
It's if you don't...
Which I thought was interesting.
I think the light is if you don't want to be able to download videos or something like that.
I can see that.
So you would pay for light if basically you just want an ad-free experience. But your experience is not going to be ad-free because guess what? They're also doing, I saw, they have little fucking banners on videos now, ad banners, and they're going to introduce mid-roll ads and all sorts of crazy shit that aren't skippable. So yeah. But yeah, YouTube
That's
Light.
for the free version?
Block.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's going to add every 3 words.
But Lyra Cohen, YouTube's global head of music, quipped that YouTube is the new MTV.
Well, I sent you guys...
That's the direction they kind of want to head with, like, because artists you can release their music videos.
I had sent you guys...
Independent of anything.
I don't know if I could find it.
That's true. I can see that.
Can you go back in the chat?
Regarding YouTube or...
Yeah, remember the stats that I had sent you? Oh, here they are. Found them.
Oh, yeah, YouTube had passed Netflix as like the most watched.
Yeah, so YouTube basically is the new TV.
It's everything.
This guy Patty Galloway, he's like one of the big like YouTube coach people, and he was saying that YouTube is the new TV, it's the new Hollywood, it's the new Netflix, and it's the new podcast platform, and they're pumping a lot of stuff into it, into that like concept of like they want to be, you know, Twitter calls itself the everything app, like YouTube is going to be that. Like more people are going to, because the stats suggest like, you know, Monday morning coffee and a newspaper, like that's no longer Monday morning coffee and like sitting down watching Fox News. That's no more. It's Monday morning sitting down with coffee and YouTube. Come home from work and throwing on Netflix. That's over. You come home from work and throw on YouTube now. So like, it's just the place where like the majority of people are getting their content from.
Yeah. I mean, combined with videos that are already on YouTube and now their YouTube TV is crazy. So
I'm surprised they ditched their efforts to make original content. It was like Cobra Kai and like that one show with all the streamers. I think I can't remember.
They still have some exclusive content. I think I would have to check, but I don't really watch too much of it. Like some after hours concerts and stuff they're trying to do, like Amazon Prime is doing with football and whatnot. But yeah, I don't know. I can see them going in the MTV direction because, you know, people use YouTube for podcasts, news, beauty, and stuff like that. But a lot of music listening goes on. Yeah. I mean, so I don't know. I mean, I signed up for YouTube Music specifically because it was Google Music at the time, because they had a library that was probably on par with Apple Music. It was different. It wasn't the same. Right. Now their library is almost exactly the same. But you could upload like 250,000 or 500,000 of your own songs you wanted to the cloud, and you could mix all of that together. And I wanted online storage plus music streaming, and I can still get all that. So that's the only good product Google has ever made, is their music stuff. Anyhow,
YouTube,
they're still evil.
Know if they will do original content. Like they don't need it. Like these other, like Disney Plus, they kind of have to put out original stuff because that's the business model. But YouTube makes money elsewhere, so they don't necessarily need original content.
But they got 125 million subscribers paying $13.99, or most of them paying $13.99.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So they don't need to like dish out all this money making original content that might just flop when they already are raking in cash.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in the ad game.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Russo brothers.
Yep.
Last recent movie, The Electric State, is, quote, an automatic Razzie contender, according to some.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's bad.
It's their lowest rated movie yet.
It started out this World of Real link, because I saw this early on. I think this was like came out on the 7th. Was today the 10th? I think when they posted this, it said it had started with a Rotten Tomato score of 0%, and they had to update it. It was at like 10%. I don't know what it's at now, but it was bad. It was really bad.
Is this out on Netflix?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Came out this week.
So. It came out 3 days ago. So, why hasn't anyone watched it? I don't see any on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't see any crowd score or whatever. I would think more people would have watched it if it's on Netflix. Maybe they haven't updated it yet. Maybe it's just
the
that bad.
Electric State, right?
Yes, The Electric State.
It says March 14th or something.
Oh yeah, it's probably not out yet then. Or maybe it is.
Oh, okay.
Unless this thing is wrong. I don't know.
But critics are reviewing it.
Well, they probably maybe got it early, if anything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, March 14th. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Google says March 7th
right now. And in that Real article, there was people were saying that the Russo brothers aren't very good directors, and they're only really good at the Marvel formula, which is, hey, we've already storyboarded everything. Hey, we're going to CGI most of this stuff. We just need you to direct a couple of bits and pieces here and there, and plug and play. And they're really good with that. But as far as like making their own stuff, it's kind of shitty. But we've seen some Russo
No, that's
stuff
not true.
Oh, we watched the Gray Man. Is that what?
Oh, that was terrible. I mean,
that's see what I'm saying, Marvin?
They've
But
had criticism for a while.
Extraction, right? That was Russo brothers.
No,
No.
No,
no. It was the Gray Man was their first movie post Endgame.
oh, Google's always lying. I need to get a better source for information.
The Gray Man?
No, I'm saying it shows Extraction as
Oh,
Russo
Extraction.
brothers.
Wait, maybe it was. I don't know. Let's
It
look
wasn't.
up.
No, it
Oh,
wasn't.
you just Google's just lying to you. They probably produced it.
But they also.
Oh yeah, no,
with the
they
movie-
wrote it. They wrote it.
Oh,
Extraction was
okay.
cool. I like
The
Yeah.
first one was good. Second one was not
second.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but giving that to
That
for
train.
somebody else to take your writing and direct it in a way that makes it a good movie is
No, I know.
versus them directing like movies where their writing is good and the story's probably had a chance, but the movie just kind of fell flat, which is what it feels like. These guys are turning into Dan's favorite director, a Snyder
Oh.
kind of
I mean, listen,
director.
So they got carried by Marvel, basically, is what you're saying.
I
the
don't know.
Marvel formula carried him.
I still look at Winter Soldier.
Damn.
That was not a formulaic Marvel movie at the time, and it's one of the best Marvel movies to date. So, or it's the best Marvel movie to date, in my opinion. All right, what else you got for us, Dusty?
Well, since we're still on it, Hans Zimmer talked a little bit about still being retired from superhero movies after Batman v Superman. And somebody asked, what about Marvel? I'm sure they've had to come to you, or they'd be stupid not to. And this is what he had to say. He said, quote, "They have, and it was always, timing wasn't great. And really, quite honestly, I'm looking for other things right now. Look, I've done the trifecta. I've done Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, and Wonder Woman. I mean, what do you want me to do? Some of the minor characters?
Yeah,
Probably yes.
that's fair.
I mean, I get it, but there's still some great characters you could do. So I also don't get it. But he also added that he's not interested in working on any Star Wars projects either because he'd have to reinvent it, which I totally get. Like, you can't really redo Star Wars.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I'm a little disappointed. He could do some good stuff with the X-Men, but that's okay.
Just give us the.
Yeah, that's true. It doesn't need much work.
That's what the world
either.
wants. Nobody wants anything else. Just give us what we want. That's it.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of Star Wars,
Well-
Tony Gilroy. He's talking about his exit here. He did an interview with Collider. It's a pretty good read if you want to hear what he has to say about a lot of things. But Kathleen Kennedy kind of teased that he wouldn't be around anymore, and he kind of confirmed it. He says, "I've been peripherally involved for 10 years and intensely involved for 6. So that's a pretty big chunk of my life. There's other things to do. I think when it's done, I will have a pretty big piece of Star Wars real estate behind. I'm not feeling guilty about not chipping in about him leaving because Kathleen kind of, I think, gave him a little jab for leaving. And he's like, I don't feel bad about leaving. I did a lot. And I kind of want to do some other stuff, which I get.
Kathleen Kennedy.
But he's the one that did Andor. Andor 1 and 2, or season 1 and 2, and part of the Rogue. So Rogue One's Rogue Squadron.
Yeah, he's they're gonna. She's mad. He doesn't want to help them suck the franchise dry more than it has been. Yeah, she's mad. He only wants to make quality content and then leave when it's run its course, or when it's met its timely end.
So we got one more season of Cassian Andor, but after that, no more Tony Gilroy Star Wars. So
this season, by the way, takes place over the course of 2 years, I believe, and every episode is like a massive jump in time. They said. I think
every
that's
episode.
awesome.
I thought it was every 3 episodes.
Good.
Maybe. I could be wrong. It's one of those two.
Okay.
Oh yeah, here we go. Final season will span approximately 5 years in Cassian Andor's life, leading up to the events of Rogue One, which means the story has been condensed to fit those time jumps, something Gilroy has discussed at length. So, yeah. I'm excited for this. April 22nd. Don't let us down, Tony. It'll be good.
He won't.
Right.
No,
It'll be great.
It's nice to know that when like something is just guaranteed to be good. There's like a few directors and writers and stuff these days that like you could watch without worry that like it's gonna be some good shit.
Well, this is an interesting tech piece. WB
Yeah.
Warner Brothers will be replacing DVDs.
Oh wow.
For customers who experience disc rot.
Shit.
This is like the DVD layer kind of like rotting or peeling away.
Wow.
Discs produced between 2006 and 2008 are affected. And they figured out that this was happening and they're working with customers to replace it. They say this was from WB themselves. Where possible, the defective discs have been replaced with the same title. However, some of the effective titles are no longer in print or the rights have expired.
Ooh.
Consumers have been offered an exchange for a title of like value.
They need to bring DVDs
which I
back.
thought was interesting.
Doomsday Preppers
I'm
went crazy about this news.
Really?
No, I
I'm
just made that
curious
up.
if they've digitized some of this stuff because some of it is, I mean, are we losing it forever?
Probably.
That's wild.
This was an interesting piece though, because in the article, like DVD sales last year were $1.3 billion. Okay. In 2024, they actually went down to 959 million. So for the first time in a long time, DVD sales have fallen below $1 billion a year.
Everybody's got that Streamio tech.
I can't believe it's still that high though.
Digital. Well,
DVDs.
there's a lot of rural motherfuckers out there, Marvin.
There's
I
also
get it. That's true.
in the film
That's true.
fandom, there's just a lot of people appreciate physical media.
Sure.
That is also true.
I still do. I just don't have any.
So 2006 was peak DVD sales, and we just fell under $1 billion. What do you think peak DVDs? 2006.
Oh,
What do you think
2006.
peak DVD sales was?
Oh, I couldn't even tell you.
Is that higher?
$16.6 billion.
Yeah. Okay, so it's much, much, much higher.
Yeah.
I was gonna say like
yeah,
5 billion. That's wild.
DVD sales are dead. They're down under $1 billion, but at their peak, it was a $16 billion
What
a year
about
industry.
Blu-rays? Or is are they counting both together?
I don't know.
Might
This
be
says
counting.
domestic home entertainment spending reached an all-time high of $57 billion in 2024. That's up 21% year over year. But that means physical product accounted for just 1.6% of the tally. So it sounds like they are including Blu-ray in some of that
Gotcha.
physical medium. So yeah, 1.6% is still about $1 billion. Crazy.
Very interesting things happened this week. As we recently mentioned, Amazon purchased the rights to James Bond. They approached the Broccoli's with pitches for a James Bond spin-off series based on Moneypenny. And once it was revealed that the Broccoli's, they called the Amazon execs fucking idiots to their faces, apparently. Jeff Bezos then said, I don't care what it costs, get rid of her. And so this was reported by the Hollywood Reporter, and here is Jeff Bezos as classic James Bond villain, which Dr. Evil is also based on. I forget the
I thought it was
character's
Dr.
name.
Evil.
No, this character Dr. Evil was based on.
That's crazy.
So apparently Jeff Bezos was so mad that he decided to flex his financial powers and just purchase the rights altogether. But aside from that coming out, we're going to get a lot of James Bond news for a while now. Aston Martin did a awesome little ad with Pierce Brosnan and the legendary car, the Vanquish, which was in Die Another Day.
The one I've seen.
Yep. And this is
One of
almost 20 years after that film has come out. They did this little advertisement. Okay. So some people are speculating, is there a possibility that for Amazon's first outing into James Bond territory, can it be a one-off with Pierce Brosnan reprising his role as Bond, doing an old man Bond story?
Maybe. I doubt it though. I don't know.
Maybe he'll be a
yes,
mentor.
I think they want to supplant a new, but I don't think they want to wait 6 years to say this is our new Bond.
You don't think a one of the biggest corporations on the planet, who now owns one of the biggest IPs on the planet, won't do nostalgia bait and cast arguably, or people's most people in the current generation age range, millennials, is favorite Bond. Like, he's everybody's favorite Bond in our age range.
One of the most recent ones.
Yeah,
I mean,
he was in one of the best ones, GoldenEye. I mean, he's arguably one of the best Bonds. I mean, obviously everybody has a love of Roger Moore and
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery. Those guys are icons. Sean Connery's probably the best in everybody's eyes, but like the millennials and
Roger Moore, Sean Connery are arguably the two of the best Bonds.
Yeah, but Pierce Brosnan's my favorite.
Yeah, he's a fan favorite.
I feel like they would do this over being like, let's do something original and new. I feel like they would throw this guy all sorts of money. But funny enough, apparently before this Aston Martin ad, he made like a comment about he would be interested in revisiting the character. So it got some people talking. Now, you know, obviously that's just a very actor thing to say. I would revisit the character.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd love to.
And he was also asked, apparently, by Variety. He had some comments on it, and he said that Pierce Brosnan needs to be British. I hope that Amazon handles the work and the character with dignity and imagination and respect. So,
you mean James Bond, yeah.
James Bond, yeah. So he's been doing some James Bond stuff recently. So I don't know.
Yeah, he's courting. Of course he's courting. He wants to do it. I don't think he should. I'm too old for it. I don't want to see it.
You don't want to see an old man Bond movie? All right. There's this funny tweet too that I pulled this in relation to it. It's a video of this guy whispering to a chick at a club. It says, "What's he saying?" It's like an engagement bait type of thing. And this person responded and said, quote, "And at that time, Die Another Day was the highest grossing Bond film. And then there was a verbal agreement Bros would make a fifth Bond, but then Michael and Babs just sacked him over the phone. But now Amazon should definitely bring him back for a one-off old man Bond movie." So that's what this guy's saying in the club. But it's funny. It's a funny tweet, but it makes a good point. Pierce Brosnan there was an agreement for him to make a fifth Bond movie. So, all things considered, will Amazon bring him back to do his fated fifth movie? Make it happen. I want to see the old man Bond movie, personally.
They might do it, but it wouldn't be like I said, I don't think it'll be the first thing they do, like jumping in like, oh, we need this nostalgia bait. I think they want to bring in a Bond and establish a Bond and say, well, you know, we've got the license now. We can do whatever we want. Here's an old man Bond movie, maybe.
So you think you think they want to establish their own footprint first?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe.
Yeah, I think they're going to spend the money on. Yeah.
I would love to see an old man Bond.
You got to see GoldenEye first, motherfucker. I got to get you on that. That's going to be the next Meg Marvin watch for sure. Dusty, you got to pick it for this month too, by the way.
GoldenEye.
I know. I need to look at the list. All right. Well, Severance recently had surpassed Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
As the most watched series on the Apple platform of media and entertainment. But Apple's biggest movie launch on the platform recently occurred as well.
Yeah.
Apple does not divulge specific numbers, but the company does confirm it is the biggest film premiere in Apple TV Plus history, driving double-digit growth globally for the service and boosting new viewers by 80% weekend over weekend.
What other movies were there?
Apple movies?
movies?
God.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Like,
I don't know.
Recently or all together?
Yeah, like all together.
There was that one with
I do not have a list of Apple movies.
Samuel Jackson and the new Captain America guy. I forgot his name. That one.
Anthony Mackie?
Yeah. It was that one several years ago, but that's like the only one I can remember.
Greyhound with Tom Hanks. Killers of the Flowers Moon, I forgot was Apple.
Wolves.
Ooh, yeah.
Wolves was, Tetris.
Napoleon, Palmer, Ghosted. Fly Me to the Moon, Argyle, The Greatest Beer Run Ever, Coda. They have quite a few, actually. And Coda was the Best Picture nominee, I thought. Wasn't it? I think it was.
I think it was.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah, I forgot Killers of the Flower Moon.
they
Yeah.
have quite a few.
The Banker, that's the one I was thinking about.
The Banker, yes.
Apple
That was a good
Apple
one.
quietly becoming a fucking entertainment giant.
Swan Song.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the movie we're here to talk about, The Gorge,
That's right.
is the movie that is the biggest launch on the platform for Apple. So 2 of us watched it.
Yep.
1 of us
Good for them.
watched the wrong movie. But we're here to talk about it anyway.
Marvin. All right. Thank you so much for the news, Dusty. All right, let's get into today's review. Apparently, the highest rated,
Highest watch.
Biggest watch.
highest watched,
Yeah.
the most watched movie on Apple TV so far that they've put out, The Gorge, and this is starring
The
Anya
biggest premiere
Taylor,
movie they've put on there.
the biggest
platform.
premiere movie on Apple TV. Anya Taylor-Joy, Miles Teller, Sigourney Weaver, directed by Scott Derrickson of The Black Phone, Doctor Strange, Sinister, Exorcism of Emily Rose. Good director. And this is the story of 2 highly trained snipers. One is Russian, one is a former Marine, and they get deployed to a mysterious post over a gorge in God knows where. And some weird, mysterious stuff happens. So it's a really, really simple and straightforward story and plot. We got Miles Teller. He's a retired Marine. I think he's got like the second most confirmed kills like in the history of sniping or some shit. He's
Right
got
after the one guy that was lying or whatever
yeah.
that they made the movie about.
yeah, American Sniper. What the fuck was his name? Chris Kyle.
Yeah.
Apparently he's like on record with like the second longest shot in history or some crazy shit. And he gets sat down with Sigourney Weaver, and she's like, "Oh, I got a job for you, but does anybody care about you or love you in your life at all? Because, oh no, okay, you're perfect for this job." And he gets sent off to some mysterious location, and we get some exposition from the person he's replacing, who has been there for a year. So apparently, you get put up in this tower that's overlooking a gorge. We don't know what's in the gorge. We just don't want whatever's in there coming out. You hang out here for a year, and then we replace you.
Yeah. Overwatch.
Yeah. By the way, on the other side of the gorge is another tower and another person covering that side. Don't ever interact with them whatsoever. This guy gets picked up by a helicopter. He's excited to go home, and very easily predicted gets shot in the head on the helicopter and tossed overboard. So some mysterious stuff is going on here. Our other character, Anya Taylor-Joy, she is also a star sniper, except she's a Russian asset. We don't know who she really works for, but we know her dad worked for the what's the Russian Secret Service or whatever, the
KGB.
The KGB. Her dad. And she does some long range hit we get to see at an airport somewhere. She goes and meets with her dad who's dying, and he tells her, I'm going to take my own life on February 14th. So, if you're anywhere, just know that I'm going to do that. Cool little, I guess, little backstory for the character there. And turns out she is the one on the other side of the gorge in the other tower. And the two are not to interact with one another. Well, that doesn't last very long, because on her birthday, she shoots a gun into the sky to get his attention, and they start writing each other notes over the course of the next several months, and they develop a little bit of a like for each other, communicating across this gigantic gorge. Before we get into the rest of the movie, Dusty, what'd you think?
It was good.
You liked
I mean,
it?
I thought it was. Yeah, I could have had a lot of complaints about the movie. There's pretty much a lot to pick apart, plot holes and whatnot. But you're talking about a movie where
Yeah.
you're stationed on top of a gorge and you're told to protect it.
Mhm.
And on the first night, like monsters start crawling up the walls.
Yeah.
At that point, you're pretty much, the disbelief. You've got to like let it go. So I thought it was a interesting like backstory type way to approach it. Like, hey, we were developing the nuclear weapon, a la
Right.
Oppenheimer, but we had a second strategy of a viral weapon that fucking got fucked up, and so now we just gotta like protect because we can't stop it.
Yeah.
I thought that was a pretty cool little storyline, and as far as what happens in the movie between all that, it's just a fun action flick. So
Well, that's
yeah, I thought it was
that's
pretty good
sort
to
of
watch.
that's like the payoff or the twist. You don't really know that for a
Right.
while. The majority of the movie is them two just kind of commute. Well, the first half of the movie is them like communicating across the gorge and starting to have this little like romantic connection.
Getting into the groove of protecting the tower and getting to know each other. Yeah.
Yeah, without any communication. And eventually what happens is she, they're playing music for each other. They're like doing all sorts of like cool romantic stuff or that you would do in a relationship, except they're not physically together. And because of all the noise they're making, as you said, monsters start coming up and like you see all the defense stuff that they have set up. There's like turrets and fucking mines and like electric fences, all sorts of crazy shit to keep whatever's down there out. And you get a kind of little glimpse of them from time to time, and they look like fucking little mini Groots, almost like tree people. And yeah, you're kind of just like, wow, what the fuck is down there?
Tree people, huh?
Yeah,
Like
they look like
Last
trees.
of Us-esque or
A little bit, yeah, actually. And there's a reason.
Fungus.
There is a reason for it, yeah.
Mm.
Well, one night, Miles Teller looks across the gorge and he sees her crying. And he's like, what's wrong? And she, we know what's wrong is that this is the day her dad died. It's Valentine's Day. And he told her, like, on February 14th, wherever you are, just know that, like, I have done the deed. And so she's like, I wish you were here with me. And he's like, oh, fuck, let's go. And he, like, MacGyver's some sort of, like, system to fucking
Zip line.
make
Yeah.
a zip line across, and he goes across and they have like a dinner together. It's their first meetup and it's kind of cute, and like they're both nervous and excited to hang out, and they dance and they talk and they cry together and have dinner, and I think they have sex probably. And the next day he has to go back across, and while he's on his way across, a couple of the monsters are coming up and they trigger some mines, and the mines blow up his zip line and he falls down into the gorge. Into the mist, and you're like, oh fuck, we were told
dead.
not to go down there, don't talk to the other person if they're fucking everything up. She goes in after him, and this becomes the second half of the movie, which is like an action movie sort of them running away from all these monsters down there. And Scott Derrickson's, the writer's fucking imagination just ran wild down here. You get fucking right away, we get some like tree people on horseback
Yeah.
fucking going after them with like swords and sabers and stuff. They run into a church, like an abandoned church, and there's fucking giant spiders with human skulls as bodies.
Yo.
Yep.
All sorts of crazy stuff. Long story short, they come across this like military bunker and they get this piece of exposition that, as Dusty alluded to, during the Oppenheimer, during the Manhattan Project, they decided the Western governments, or no, East and West, decided that they needed it was like a joint mission to develop a bioweapon. And there was an accident down there. They like sequestered themselves in this gorge because it was like it was like a remote place. And their bioweapon that they were developing went off by accident and infected everybody down there, and basically merged the DNA of all the wildlife and plants down there with the humans. So it's like you get this like weird mix of like mutant fucking tree people and fungus and like all sorts of shit. So you're right, Marvin. It is almost like The Last of Us. There are like fungus things.
Holy shit.
And visually, it's actually really cool. There were some really cool things down there, specifically that room, Dusty, in the silo with all like the fucking goop fucking people that were like,
yeah, the hanging people. Yeah.
It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it, honestly. And they just like get out of there, and then Sigourney Weaver, it turns out she works for like this like BlackRock type of company that has been secretly guarding the place to continue the research on the weapon. And she finds out that these two communicated and went down there. And so she dispatches herself. And I don't know why the CEO of a corporation would be like, I'm coming with you to this dangerous place. But
no, that never happens.
Yeah, she goes with her agents to like deal with the situation. And it turns out that Anya Taylor-Joy and him had been Miles Teller. They like rigged the whole thing to like, there was
a self-destruct button or a bomb.
Yeah, they decided
they had like let go
so they can escape death. Basically,
no, there's like a failsafe in case like the stuff gets out of the gorge, because the whole idea is that you could get infected now. They're like zombies. Or whatever.
Yeah.
So if it gets out into the world, the world's over.
Yeah.
So they have a failsafe, and then Miles Teller and her trigger the failsafe, destroying the gorge at the end and killing Sigourney Weaver. And
no, I'm saying they did that so that they can
soldiers.
escape.
Yes.
The punishment of death after
they want
to
run away and be together. The plan was to go to run off to France together.
I got a major
They
dusty
knew that
gripe.
they were coming in to get them, so they set up a plan to booby trap them once they got there. Then they were going to sequester themselves for X amount of time and meet up so they could run away together.
Yeah, they needed to wait
just
5
days.
Just
in case they got infected. Yeah.
What's your question? What's your dusty gripe, Marvin?
I got a major dusty gripe here.
Tell me about it.
All right.
If there was this failsafe all along, why wouldn't they just have closed up the gorge?
Because the corporations were using it as a test bed for new technology and bioweapons.
I missed that.
It's greed.
Sigourney Weaver's secret BlackRock corporation.
No, that I missed that.
Tested.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were basically
they took a catastrophe and turned it into profit and war.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
There's a moment in the movie where there's like this weird fucking drone that comes out of the mist of the gorge and flies off, and they're like, what the fuck was that? So basically, Sigourney Weaver's corporation was keeping the gorge active to test it for stuff.
Yeah.
And they were just hiring people to watch over it for like a year and then killing them so they couldn't get any of the information out or whatever. That's pretty much it. I mean, that's really the whole movie. There wasn't much to it. It does play. The movie plays like a video game though, which I thought was kind of cool. In that, you get to like, let's say, the first location of the video game, and you learn like, okay, this is what the game's about. This is what we're doing. Then you do like the next thing, and you go to the next location, and then the next location, and now we're in a church, and we got to fight the church monsters. And then we defeat those, and now we go into the bunker. Now we're dealing with the bunker monsters. So it progresses very much like a video game. And it turned out after the fact I had read Scott Derrickson was inspired by video games. And he took a lot of
that's a
inspiration.
very Uncharted feel, like when you get down there and the undead stuff on the submarine.
Yep.
Had that vibe.
He took a lot of inspiration from games like Silent Hill. I forget what else he mentioned. So that's cool that, he did the thing that he wanted to do, because I definitely got that vibe. But it wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't a great movie even, but like, it's just like a movie, really. I had fun watching it. I don't think I'll ever watch it again.
It was a fun action watch.
Yeah.
Nothing groundbreaking. An interesting story, but
nice. It's nice to have on in the background. The one thing that Scott Derrickson said is that it really at its core is a love story about these two people, and that's like the whole thing. Nothing else really. Everything else is kind of like side stuff. So, the whole movie hinges on that love story, of us buying into that, of the audience buying into that love story, which I don't really know that I did. I'm a huge rom-com fan, as you guys know.
Yep.
And I thought that like the beginning stuff when they're communicating over the two towers, like across the gorge, it was pretty fun to watch them sort of like developing an interest in each other, and they're vibing. They clearly have like a connection, which is pretty cool, because if you could have a connection with somebody that you're not even speaking to, you're just like talking with like written words across this fucking distance with each other, like, wow, that seems special. So that was cool. When they first met up, and there was like that childlike nervousness of meeting somebody you like or hanging out with somebody you like for the first time. That was all done really well. Their chemistry was really good. And then once the action stuff happens, it's just really them just kind of like fighting for each other, really. Like, you know, he gets into like a little trouble and she saves him, or she gets into some trouble and he goes out of his way for her. And that was really kind of what it boiled down to. And then their plan was to run away to France.
They're basically stuck in a foxhole together. Yeah.
Yeah. Their plan was to run away to France. But they had to wait 5 days to make sure they weren't infected. She goes to France, and 5 days comes and goes. It's like months go by. He doesn't show up afterwards. Last we see of him, he's like hobbling away before this nuke goes off that they detonated. And so you don't know if he made it. Like, clearly he was always going to make it, right? And so he shows up like way later. It's like the
Jason Bourne style.
It's like the Dark Knight Rises ending, where like, you know, Bruce tells Alfred, like, you know, Alfred tells Bruce of his fantasy that like, I'm going to be in a cafe somewhere and I'll see you.
Oh,
and
yeah,
just nod.
yeah.
And that happened.
Was that?
Well, it was kind of like that. She's working at this like French cafe, and he just has never showed up for like months. And then one day she just turns around and he's sitting there.
Oh my God.
Yes, it was more like, like Jason Bourne, where he walks into the bicycle shop that she rents bicycles from.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they're just going to have like a happy life together. So like, yeah, I don't know. Like, there's not much to talk about with this movie. It's a very straightforward plot. It's a very straightforward story. There wasn't much to it. It was like, it's just like an action
they could have gone
movie.
full video game cheese. They could have like made a storyline where some Nazis, you know, secretly invaded the base, and that's what caused the explosion. And then you would have had Nazi zombies as the enemy.
My problem with the movie is that there's not a lot of substance to it, right? There's not
simple.
Like every aspect of it too is like the love story was like just pretty simple. It's like two people.
You're getting this. I mean, it's kind of a love story. They're dropped into this foxhole together. It's the interpersonal development of them two being able. There's nobody to rely on but yourself and whoever else is on your side. And it's what they go through, but
it's two people developing like a relationship or connecting in this like weird situation, and so it was creative,
in a traumatic way. Yeah,
it was creative in the sense that they like took this concept and put like a sci-fi sort of spin on it. Like, well, what if these they developed the sci-fi stuff around it, which was cool. But like,
I mean, it's an old trope: two heroes, good at. What they do, fall in love. And
just the sci-fi elements weren't that interesting to me. Like, it wasn't scary. It wasn't really that intense when they were like fighting things and like running away from stuff and like getting attacked. It wasn't really scary. You get like this like 1 minute piece of exposition that's like the whole thing, which is like it's literally a scientist in an old video. Making like a video like as she's infected, she's like, "Yep, we fucked up. I got some shit spreading, and so sorry world. Like, we hope this never gets out." And like that's how they find out like what happened down there.
Yeah.
This is like a PG-13 action flick. This is meant for like.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of meant
for a quick
us,
watch.
No, it was good.
This is meant for all the people who
one and
love
done.
These two. Yeah.
I don't regret watching it, but it wasn't. There wasn't much to it. That's all I'm gonna say. I think it could have been way, way better had it leaned in a little bit to like some more, I don't know, horror elements or like some more stuff. Like even the action wasn't really like that good. Like they get down into the gorge and like they're immediately attacked by like horseback riders. And they run off.
This is one of those Netflix specials where like if you're a fan of the actor, you probably like the movie, but otherwise it's just
the acting
movie.
was good. The whole like their chemistry actually is what saved the movie for me, because everything hinged on them too, and you liking them and liking them together. And so in that regard, it worked very well. If it didn't do that, then I probably would have fucking hated this. But luckily, their chemistry was great, and so I went along for the ride just fine. But yeah, I think some of the other elements could have been like fleshed out a little bit better. Like them being snipers had nothing to do with anything, but like they made it such like a huge part of their characters of like it's their connection.
Right.
It's like, oh, you're a master sniper too? Oh my God. So it's just like a funny way, I guess, to give them like a connection or like a similarity. But yeah.
Yeah, there's a deeper plot you could have gone there, like the evil corporation in cahoots with the military government to get rid of its most well-trained killers so that they don't turn once they get back home with PTSD.
There's a lot of like really cool like secret stuff they could have done that they didn't, and that's okay. But yeah, there's really not much more to say about it than that. It was a decent little put on.
It was a fun one-time watch. I don't
Turn
know
your
that
brain
I'll
off.
maybe you know what? I actually will probably watch it again sometime just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
Not like just because I need to watch it, but like, you know what? I haven't watched this. I've only watched it once, so I'll give it a shot again.
What's this, Gorge? This one has an 8.1. Yeah. So Marvin, you having watched the wrong movie, I would say not worth going back to watch it. Not worth
That's
is the
fair.
wrong thing. You're not missing much.
A whole lot.
Yeah, you're not missing much. And there's other like, yeah, this is a great review right here. Solid, simple, good. Like that's pretty much what it is. It's not bad. It's not amazing. Simple, to the point.
Mm-hmm.
Does what it intended, and did it pretty well. I like Scott Derrickson a lot. He's got a good visual style. His movies are very unique. A lot of the creature designs in this, I think, were pretty good. And a world of like a lot of creature stuff being overdone and reused. Like they didn't feel like anything I had seen before. So that's like a really good positive too.
Yeah.
They did kind of look like Ents a little bit from Lord of the Rings, but smaller. But otherwise I thought it was, pretty original stuff, which was cool. But yeah. Anything else you wanted to say about it, Dusty?
No, not really. I mean, you say it drew a little bit from a lot of different places, like movies and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty original, and interesting. And that's why I enjoyed it. So, if I were going to say anything about it, I would definitely give it a slight bump versus a slight cut, even though I'm not really that interested in rewatching it. But yeah.
All right. Well, it's got
I'd
a 6.
probably give it a 7.
You'd give it a 7. Well, it has a 6.7 on IMDb, so I would give it that about there, like a 6.5.
Yeah.
How about you, Marvin? No, maybe you watch it. I don't know. You might find it fun.
If I get the vibe to watch an action,
it's not like
rom-com.
Yeah, I mean, if you're bored and
maybe
you're
I'll
sitting
watch
on
it.
the couch, yeah, you can see looking for something to watch. Pop it on. It's a fun little watch.
Like you
But,
missed the Nora, and I was like, nah, you gotta fucking watch a Nora. This isn't that. This is like, yeah, no, go watch it. It's fun.
Right.
It's not going to be like a
different,
super memorable. Oh my god, that was amazing. It's just a fun little watch.
Yeah.
So,
Got it.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Well, leave a comment, folks. If you watched The Gorge, let us know what you thought of it. And it seems like everybody liked it. It's got some pretty good reviews on IMDb. So that's nice that it's not something people are just default shitting on for no reason whatsoever.
I think maybe it got the most premiere watched movie for Apple because of the way they hyped it up. They had some good marketing behind it.
Yeah, it almost felt like it came out in theaters a little bit. I saw a lot of marketing for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So leave a comment. Let us know what you thought. If you watched it, if you haven't, check it out. It was fun enough. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. We talked about a lot of stuff in this episode. Tell us what you thought of Daredevil episode 1 and 2, what your theories are on Severance, all that good shit. Subscribe if you have not done so already. We do this once a week. Next week we're watching the Bob Dylan film what was it called? I keep saying No Direction
Complete
Home.
Unknown.
Complete Unknown. No Direction Home was a Scorsese documentary about Dylan, which is also very good. But next week we're watching A Complete Unknown. I'm very excited for that one. So be sure to join us then. You can check out our website, harshlanguage.tv, where you can find our links to social media and stuff like that. And we have a Discord that you could join, talk to us about movies and shows, and leave some recommendations and things like that. So
Get in there.
Yep, get on in.
Yeah.
We look forward to hearing from you. We'll catch you next week. Thanks for hanging out. See you then.
See ya.
Asta.